ThaBoxingvoice.com here with Mr. Eddie Hearn.
Do you know what? I really like that moustache.
Thank you.
Have you ever seen the film Bugsy Malone?
I haven't.
Right, watch Bugsy Malone, because they're like all these little gangsters, right, with the Tommy guns.
Right.
But they're kids. But it's like it's not a joke film. But there's a guy in it, like the mob boss, and he looks like you. He's got the little tash there. I like it.
Bugsy's the one that got Vegas started.
That's right.
He's the one that got Vegas started. Yeah. Well, today I just flew in from Vegas. Today we're in New York. Devin Haney. I was with Devin in the gym the other night, and I was talking to Bill, and I was like, do you know that Terrence Crawford was the 2-division champion the first time he headlined at the theater?
Yeah.
So that is big. You know, he hasn't even had a title opportunity yet.
Good.
Let's talk about the main event in Devin Haney and Abdullaev.
It's a great fight.
Interim title now on the line.
Yeah, there's so many people talking about Devin Haney that I think a lot of people are losing how tough a fight this is for Devin Haney. You know, hype's one thing, but getting in there against a tough, unbeaten Russian who's coming to win. You know, Abdullaev believes he's going to win this fight. They're coming to win this fight. The whole hype around Devin Haney is crazy, but you've got to deliver. But I wanted to bring Devin Haney to New York because this really is, you know, along with LA, it's the media capital of the world, let alone of America. Madison Square Garden is such a great arena. You know, going from the theatre into the big room is like a natural transition.
Right.
And I believe that Devin Haney is going to be filling that arena for many years to come. So he's excited, I'm excited, I'm a bit nervous because I know how tough a fight this is as well, you know. But this time around it's for the interim world title. The winner gets Lomachenko, whether he fights him immediately or not. But you know, for me, Lomachenko's going to fight this year. He can't do what he wants to do, which is fight Teofimo Lopez Commey winner, because that's in December. So whoever wins on Friday night, as far as I'm concerned, must face Lomachenko next. Lomachenko will fight anyone. He's one of the greatest fighters of all time. So whoever wins should stand in that ring on Friday and say, there's no excuse, don't take a voluntary, fight your mandatory, that's me. And hopefully we can entice Lomachenko to do that. But I think Devin Haney is on the verge of greatness. I really do. But he's 20 years old, you know, and he won't be at 135 too long. So he's probably got 2 fights left, maybe 3. And he has to win a world title before he moves up, because I want him to be a 3-4 division world champion.
Right.
And he mustn't miss the boat at lightweight. He must win that world championship at lightweight. But first, he's got to get past Abdullaev.
8 days ago, I was with Devin in the gym. He was a minus 2,500 favorite,
as
was Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
As of this morning, he is a 3,300. He is a bigger favorite.
Yeah, but you know why? Because of hype. That's just hype.
Well, it's not hype if it's true, though, right?
No. Those numbers are wrong. Abdullaev against Haney is a much closer fight than Fury against Warling, right? Because Devin is still a little bit unproven. There's ability and there's hope and there's skill, and he's got all of that. But it's another thing doing it in the ring.
Right.
We saw it against Moran in his last fight, but Abdullaev is many levels above Moran. If he can do it against Abdullaev, then we can start turning around saying this guy is 100% the real deal, and he needs to go after a world title now. So I'm a believer, but if I'm a cynic, I'm saying we still got to see it. And Friday you'll get to see the truth. You know, he calls himself the truth.
Dream.
The dream. I call him the truth. I know Errol Spence has that as well.
Right.
But we'll see if he's the truth, because if he beats Abdullaev in style, I believe he is.
So let's talk about the remainder of the card. Danny Roman fell off with an injury. So now we have 2 big fights. The Battle of Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's a great fight for women's boxing. I mean, Serrano against Heather Hardy. You know, 2 girls who respect each other a lot. 2 girls that have done so much for the women's boxing. Both from Brooklyn. Both sold a lot of tickets. There's a lot of hype for that fight. Obviously, both girls looking to fight Katie Taylor if they come through that fight. I think Abdullaev Haney is a great fight, but for me, the fight on the card is Michael Hunter against Sergey Kuzma. I think that is such a brilliant heavyweight fight. You know, it's so unusual nowadays to have 2 heavyweight prospects fighting each other.
Right.
They're all waiting for the big fight. They're waiting for Joshua. They're waiting for Reeves. They're waiting for Wilder. But here you had 2 camps that say, yeah, I believe we can win that fight. But they put it on the line for not mega money. Like, everyone's looking for the big heavyweight payday.
Right.
But they're believing in themselves to go out and push that big fight. The winner of that fight goes to have a big heavyweight fight later this year or early next year. And it's such a good clash of styles. You know, I love watching Hunter. He's undersized as a heavyweight, but his heart makes up for that. His skill, his movement. He can punch as well. He's got a great chin. 1 defeat on his record to Usyk. You know, and that was a good fight as well at cruiserweight. Kuzman, really good amateur, very talented. Broke his thumb last time out against Dueco. Got the decision. Close fight. But there's lots more to come from Kuzman. I think it's a brilliant fight.
Now, speaking of heavyweights, you have a heavyweight making his professional debut on the card. Talk to us a little bit about him, because obviously I feel like right now in boxing, it's almost like it was in the 80s and the 90s, where the heavyweight division is the division.
Yeah, and that's why, you know, you got a guy who's 32 in Majidov. He's a 3-time amateur world champion. So, like, as an amateur, he's one of the best heavyweights going. From Azerbaijan, huge puncher, good movement, very exciting. I think at the age of 32, you can only be fast-tracked.
Right.
And that's one of the attractions with him, is that he will be fast-tracked. Because building a fighter is fun, but it also takes a lot of time. But when you've got a heavyweight that says, right, put me in, I want 8 rounds, then I want 10 rounds, then put me in for a title, then put me in with any top 15 guy, that's like, you're talking about 8 months or 10 months of not just investment, but just time.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited with Majidov because he wants to get going. You know, he's just been sparring Luis Ortiz, been doing wonderfully well in those spars. He's ready to fight those top guys. Just needs a little bit of pro experience. He's got a good fight on Friday night,
yes,
so I'm really excited to see him fight.
Now, I want to wrap it up. I want to talk about 2 extremely young talents out of Baltimore.
Yeah.
First, I want to start with Gervonta Davis. He, obviously, we saw the talks about a possible unification. You went on Twitter, named your price. Mm-hmm. You mentioned maybe 6-7. He was thinking more
10.
around the 10. Then he vacated his title, moved up to 135. He is now the WBA mandatory for Lomachenko as well. What are your thoughts on that outcome from him vacating and moving up and now being at the 135-pound division?
I think it's a shame because I really wanted the Tevin Farmer fight. I don't feel that Mayweather Promotions wanted that fight not because they didn't think he'd beat Tevin, but just because I was probably being a pain in the ass. So it's like, Hearn's like, because they know I've got room to move from 5. You know, whether it's 6, whether it's 7,
right,
whether it's 8. They don't want to be in those conversations because they knew sooner or later it's going to get uncomfortable for him. So they moved him to 135. You know, he said in his last interview, he made the weight so easy. So why move to lightweight? I don't know, but they've done it. And they're banking, of course, on Lomachenko moving up at some stage. He's going to unify the division, and then Lomachenko's probably going to move back down again.
Right. So
those belts are going to become vacant. So he can become a world champion at lightweight as well. And you know, hopefully, that's a fight for Devin Haney in time. You know, Haney against Tank Davis is a monster fight.
They've got some sparring.
They've got history. I mean, look, when I speak to Devin about their sparring, you know, sparring, but everyone's got a sparring story, and Devin's story on Tank Davis is, you know, you can speak to him about that.
Right.
So, but it's a great fight. 2, I think Gervonta Davis is a brilliant talent, as is Devin, and we'll see what happens. First, he has to get past Abdullaev.
Now, the other talent out of Baltimore that I wanted to talk to you about is Lorenzo Truck Simpson. I was in Baltimore for Tank's last fight, and I spoke to Lorenzo, and he spoke extremely highly about you. He said, Eddie, that's my guy.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be on this bill. Talk to us about exactly what happened that he fell off. He mentioned something about maybe some issues between him and Matchroom. What was the issue with him falling off?
So we put him on the Devin Haney card last time out at National Harbour.
Right.
I love Lorenzo Simpson. I think he's great. He looked brilliant there, electric, and I wanted to sign him. And we put an offer on the table to him, which I felt was an outstanding offer. And we said, you can go on this card. And everything was a view to him jumping on board. We got to a stage where they were slow, but they made it clear that they were undecided what they wanted to do and if they wanted to move forward with Matchroom. So I said, I need these spaces for people that are committed to us. So he came off the bill, basically.
You think it was more so him, or, I mean...
I just said, I'm not going to put you on the card unless you're a Matchroom fighter, because I've done it once. I've given you a great deal. There's no one better, I believe, right now to take you from the level you're at now, give you the activity and the money to go on and reach the top, guide you to the top. And I feel very strongly about that. And if you don't want to be committed to us, that's fine, but I'm not going to be committed to you either. So I believe Lorenzo wanted to be with Matchroom, but obviously his team felt that either they wanted to look at other options or they wanted to wait. I said, that's fine, you can wait, but let's talk when you're ready to commit to us, like I'm going to commit to you and give you 6, 7, 8 fights a year, a lot of money, all my time, my emotion and my passion for developing young fighters. And Lorenzo was a fighter that I believe I could have done that so well with, but obviously his team didn't feel that way.
Do you think maybe Gervonta has something to do with that? Because, I mean, he spent an entire training camp with Devin on the West Coast.
Listen, maybe he joins PBC or maybe, I don't know. But, you know, Gervonta likes us. You know, I like Gervonta and we know each other. I think we respect each other. But no, I just felt that we could do an amazing job for Truck. Get him active, you know, he's not active enough. But we've got so many great young fighters that I can't give fighters slots on our cards who aren't committed to us. And that was a good example where I took him off and I put someone else on who is under contract with us. Because it's hard to satisfy all the fighters we've got when you're getting them out 6, 7, 8 times a year. No one's doing that apart from us. So, you know, that was it.
Well, great view on Friday.
Cheers, tune in. Get to Madison Square Garden or tune in on Dazn.
We got plenty to talk about.
But, always there for you, Boxing Voice.
Thank you, buddy.
If you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, from Title, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.